Hello, Professor. For the video section for the first assignment, I decided to talk about Marriott Bonvoy, which was a case study that I did with my students at the public high school that I work at in New York. And I'll be using Marriott Bonvoy to apply the frameworks by Donald Hambrick and James Fredrickson. Their model explains strategy through 5 key elements: arenas, vehicles, differentiators, staging, and economic logic. So I'll go through all those. According to Hambrick and Fredrickson, a true strategy is a central, integrated, externally oriented concept of how a business will achieve its objectives. Without a clear strategy, organizations often end up pursuing a scattered initiatives that don't connect to a single purpose. When that happens, companies often waste precious resources, and different managers begin pursuing their own interpretations of what the business should be doing. Interestingly, if we look at the early history of Marriott, we actually see an example of a company that initially did not do this and actually lacked a clear strategic focus and later had to redefine a strategy in order to succeed. The company was actually founded by J. Willard Marriott, who had a strong entrepreneurial mindset and always wanted to run his own business. After completing a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in New England, he decided to pass through Washington, D.C., where he noticed some people struggling with the intense summer heat. Recognizing an opportunity, Marriott decided to open up a small A&W root beer franchise to help people cool down. However, when the seasons changed um, and winter arrived, demand for root beer had dropped dramatically. Marriott realized he needed a more stable business model, so he decided to open up a restaurant called Hot Shops, which sold Mexican food. It became extremely successful and expanded to multiple locations. From there, the company began to expand rapidly. Over the next several decades, Marriott acquired restaurant chains such as Bob's Big Boy and Roy Rogers and entered the food service industry by providing meals to airlines and schools, and even moved into the entertainment and tourism by acquiring theme parks like Six Flags and various hotel properties. At first, this expansion seemed like a sign of ambition and growth. But from a strategic perspective, the company was spreading itself across too many unrelated arenas without a clear unifying direction. By the 1980s, Marriott had accumulated billions of dollars in debt, and leadership realized that the company had expanded far beyond its core strengths. In other words, Marriott's early growth illustrates what Hambrick and Fredrickson warn about. Without a focused strategy, organizations can end up pursuing a collection of disconnected initiatives rather than a coherent plan for winning in the marketplace. Recognizing this problem, Marriott's leadership decided to make a major shift. The company began selling off many of its restaurant businesses and entertainment assets and instead focused on the hospitality industry, such as hotels. This decision marked a major turning point in the company's strategic thinking as well as trajectory. The shift also aligns closely with the headshot concept developed by Jim Collins in his landmark book, Good to Great. The headshot concept argues that great companies succeed by focusing on the intersection of 3 things: what they are passionate about, what they can be the best in the world at, and what drives their economic engine. For Marriott, that intersection ultimately turned out to be the hotel management and hospitality arenas rather than restaurants or theme parks. By narrowing its focus, the company was able to align its strategy around a single core business. Using the Hambrick and Fredrickson framework, we can see how Marriott's strategy today reflects this more focused approach. First, the arenas element asks where the company chooses to compete. Originally, Marriott operated across a wide variety of industries, including restaurants, food, services, and entertainment. Realizing that it was competing in too many arenas, the company was forced to refocus. Today, the company focuses almost entirely on global hospitality and lodging. Marriott now operates thousands of hotels across multiple segments of the tourism industry, including luxury, premium, as well as more affordable accommodations. By narrowing its arenas to hospitality, the company created a clear identity and stronger strategic focus. The second element in the article is actually vehicles, or how the company enters and expands in those arenas. In the past, Marriott expanded primarily through acquisitions and ownership of businesses. But after restructuring, the company shifted to an asset-light business model. Instead of owning most of its hotels, Marriott now grows primarily through franchising and management contracts with property owners. Investors build and own the hotels, while Marriott manages operations and licenses its brand, with competitors like Hyatt pursuing a similar business model. The vehicle allows Marriott to expand quickly without taking on the heavy financial burden and risk associated with owning real estate. The third element in the article is differentiators, which explains how the company stands out to win against competitors. Marriott differentiates itself through several advantages. One of the biggest is its global brand portfolio, which allows the company to serve different types of travelers, from budget-conscious guests to luxury travelers. Across major differentiators is its local ecosystem, particularly the Marriott Bonvoy Rewards program, which encourages repeat customers by offering points, upgrades, and travel benefits. Additionally, Marriott leverages extensive customer data analytics to personalize guest experiences and strengthen brand loyalty, which further aids the management companies Marriott partners with. In terms of the fourth element of the article, staging, which refers to timing and sequence of strategic moves, Marriott's strategy evolves in stages. The company initially expanded broadly across industries and then realized that that approach was unsustainable. Leadership responded by selling off non-core businesses and concentrating solely on hospitality. Once the company narrowed its focus, it expanded globally through franchising and partnerships. Over time, this staged approach allows Marriott to grow into one of the largest hotel companies in the world. Finally, a strategy must explain the company's economic logic, or in Good to Great, their economic engine, or how it generates profits. Marriott's economic logic is built on earning franchise and management fees from hotel owners rather than relying on property ownership like it used to. Because the company does not carry the cost of owning most of its real estate, it can scale globally while maintaining relatively strong profit margins. In conclusion, overall, Marriott provides a strong example of how a company can evolve from an unfocused expansion strategy into a clear, integrated strategic model. Earlier in history, Marriott expanded into many different in its history. Marriott expanded into many different industries without clear strategic center. But by reassessing its direction and focusing on hospitality, the company aligned itself with the principles described in both the Hambrick and Fredrickson framework as well as the headshot concept from Jim Collins' book. Today, Marriott's strategy clearly defines where it competes and how it expands, how it differentiates itself, the sequence of its growth, and how it generates profit. This focus has allowed the company to become one of the most recognizable and successful hotel brands in the world. Thank you so much, Professor. I hope to talk to you soon. Bye.